This time we're going to make a page full of tiles using the Autotrace process. So the first thing we'll do, jump to our blank page, place in the image that we'll be using. This time instead of just clicking, I'm going to click and drag to get it the size I want. Go and this time in the Autotrace, there's auto color that we used last time. There's one that's called high color, so I'm going to click on that. It'll give me a preview. I'm just going to leave the settings as they are, but notice this one here, the method, instead of being on the abutting, it's on the overlapping. And so now if I go Object, Expand, go OK, and if we zoom in, you'll see what the difference is. See, it keeps this kind of double edge as everything overlaps. So once you change it to a key line, it has an odd look to it. So I'm going to just go and undo that, Command Z, and I'll put it back on the cutout method that we've been using. So ignore the whites. I'm just going to go through and do its preview again. Up to Object and Expand. Great, and then actually what I'll do first is I'll just ungroup it. Object, ungroup. Do it again. Then on the third time, it's ungrouped as far as it can go. So I'll do the same thing as last time. Select around it with a direct selection tool. Fill, none. Line, I'm going to have it as black. And stroke, I'm going to put it on 0.1 just so it's a very fine line. And you can see now there's a massive amount of detail, and you'll also see as well if I select a color and I go select same fill color, it doesn't pick up any other colors because it hasn't been stepped down, because it's on such a high trace rate. It won't find any other colors that are the same. So this is kind of the difference between that process we had before, where we were able to select colors because it was only on 25 or 35 colors. So I can come through here a bit. Remember, we've got our delete. That will take out an area that kind of looks a bit like a square. Delete again, and we'll start to get that fine fracturing. See that coming through here. Grab a bit more, you can see how much it squares off. Fill, none. Line. Try magenta this time, 0.1. Areas through here, double delete. Sometimes you have to play with it a bit to get a bit more of a fractured look. But you can see it kind of fracturing out a wee bit, that's a good one. So give that line a colour through here. Yellow, whoa, yellow's probably a a bit much, so I'm just going to go, I've clicked one of the yellow lines, select, same stroke color, and change it to a blue. Delete, double delete, all the way through here, fill none, line of black, just change the weight down again, 0.1. So you can see it becomes a bit harder to, I'm just doing some double deletes, it becomes a lot harder to work with now because of the amount of detail. Sometimes it's a little bit nicer to be working in that other mode where you've got the colours are a little more limited. I'll go change this to, let's try a hairline, make it a dash line. Is it going to do it? It doesn't seem like I want to do that. Okay. Alright. 0.25 again. Orange. This time I'm going to leave the fill so it goes over that coloured line. Double delete there to get the fracturing. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab all this. Alright. Paste that image. This time using a square, so with the shift key, I'm going to select just some interesting looking little areas. Just going to change the fill so I can see exactly what's going on. So I'll place it. When I've got them both like that, I can select it. Actually, what I should have done is grouped all of this first. So I'll just deselect the square, group it, just to make sure it's in the back. Actually, what I'll do first is I'll just copy it, arrange, send it to the back, and then if I get that little square as well, I can now go Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and it's in that little square. So if I hold the Shift key, it's going to give me that. What you'll find is that the lines will change in shape sometimes. So go here, Command V again, and now I'll try another area. So I quite like the look of this area in here. Shift to get a square. Selection tool, I can just go Shift, click on the outside, Object, Clipping Mask, 0, and move that up. You can see I've got the smart guides on, so it's going to give us an idea of when we're at the same size. Paste it again, let's click off it, have a look at another interesting area. So this time I'm just going to go for Shift key, an area like that. Select both, object, clip and mask, make. Sure that all lines up a bit. Oops. Okay. View, guides. Okay. Snap to pixel. There we go. It's going to be the same height as that. Command V. Tiny little chunk in here. Select both, object, clip and mask, make. There we go, and I think grab all four, shift, I think 4 is enough, and I'll paste it again, and once again grab an area, clipping mask, make. So this this process can also be kind of somewhat endless, because you can still double click to get a shape. You can see it's gone into the clipping group. So now I'm selecting that, I can double click on it again and it'll go in even further, so it's now just dealing with this line. Once I've got it at that level, I can click on the line and delete a portion of it, or I can click on another line and I can change the fill of it, and I can either double click on the outside and it goes all the way back, or you can go on the arrow. So let's do another one. So if I get the selection tool, click on this, we get the square, double click, goes in, it gets the group. So you can see it's got all the lines. Double click, and it's got a more specific group within here, and now we're getting just a particular shape. So I can come into this, click off it, direct selection tool. Remember, we can click on lines and just take out portions of that line. Double click to take it all the way out. So remember, because they butt up, you're getting two lines. So for instance, if I get this one here and I change the line to an orange color, and I change it to a I was finally going to do the dashed line for me. I don't know what's going on with that. Command Z. Come on, dashed line. Ah, there we go, finally. 1 and maybe we'll make it 2 just so it's a little more visible. Oh, I didn't do a very good color selection, picking the orange, so I'll double click, come all the way back in, set it orange, pink. What's going to stand out against that? Black. So you can see the blue a little wee bit there, so you've got basically a dashed line over top of a solid line. Change it to yellow. Maybe, there we go. You can kind of see it. So here, double click to get out of it, or you can just go back bit by bit. Layer 1, and then we're back to the normal mode. So it's an endless process. So all of these options within here, you've still got a chance to go back in and make modifications. Not so keen on that. Orange. So go back in and make that. Oops. Fill yellow. See, I'll swap it around, and I just won't give it any fill whatsoever. Double click on the background. All of these as well. If we want to click on it, see if we can change the whole line weight. So that's changing everything to a 0.25, or again, you can double click and get selection. So now I'm selecting across a number of lines, but not all of them, and just thickening up these edge ones, rounding the edges. So some of them are staying thin, some of them are staying thicker. And again, with the direct selection tool, you can delete and change some of these factors. So essentially I want you to do an auto trace and go through and play with these things, pasting, looking for areas, going in and working into them. Here's another little bit here that looks pretty good. Shift key. And trying to build up this grid over an A4 page. Don't have to be too precious about it, but see what you can come up with.